This is the Health Rebels podcast hosted by me, Steve Hicks. I have over a decade of experience as a personal trainer, and during that time, I have watched the smartest fitness advice fail people because we keep thinking that health and fitness is an individual's problem. The reality is there are forces all around us that are constantly pushing us to a default of being unhealthy and unhappy. To become truly healthy and happy, we have to rebel against those forces. So if you're ready to steal back control over your health and happiness, join me as we strip away the nonsense and show you the simple, healthy habits that will transform you into a health rebel. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back, Rebel, and today's episode is the L in the Rebel Oath. It's the last part of the Rebel Oath, and it's the letter L, and it stands for love myself and act accordingly. And I know it's going to be cheesy to say, but I love this one. I love this part of the Rebel Oath. I think it's a really, really instrumental way to look at health and fitness, and I think it's unfortunately so contrary to what people deliver, so contrary to what people have received in the past. But I feel like this is what people actually really want from their health and fitness, right? I think most people want health and fitness to be something that serves themselves, something that magnifies themselves, something that's an act of self-care and self-love. And I think that's what fitness really, really should be. Now, there's two parts that I want to talk about this one today. And the first, we're going to get a little philosophical, and we're going to actually talk about really kind of what love is. Now, look, I'm no poet, I'm no bard, so I'm probably not going to give the most beautiful or eloquent definition of love. But I don't believe that love is a noun inherently. I don't think it's something that you feel or something that you have. I believe that love is an active verb. Love is something that you do, right? If you think about the people that you love, you let them know you love them with gestures, with affection, with actions, with stuff. If you love your kids, or if you love your spouse, or if you love your family members, you generally hug them, embrace them, send them messages, give them kind thoughts. You act on that love. You show people love through action. Love is an active verb, and I think self-love, likewise, has to be an active verb. I don't think sitting in the lotus position saying that I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I'm so great, I'm the best, I love myself, I love myself. I don't think that's an act of self-love. I don't think that's nearly enough. You need some verbiage. You need some action. You need that to be an active process. And that's why I love this one says, love myself and act accordingly. And I think this part of the Rebel Oath, what it really does is it ensures healthful, beneficial actions. It ensures that you're doing things that are actually healthy for you, instead of the majority of the muck that people do nowadays. I don't think a lot of the stuff people do in the name of health is actually healthy. And we can use love myself and act accordingly as a bit of a litmus test, right? If you were to substitute yourself for your best friend or a child or a sibling or someone that you just care dearly about, would you want them to endure the healthy habits that you've put yourself through? Right? If we think about diets and starvation, that feeling of hungry and crabbiness, that disappointment and that fear and that regret around food and that constant mental torment, do you want your best friend to go through that? Do you want your child to go through that? No, I don't think you do. What about like people that do extreme workouts and they get intense muscle soreness to where they can't get off the toilet the next day? Moving around the house becomes a pain, becomes miserable. Do you want that kind of suffering for your child? Do you want that kind of suffering for your best friend? Or what about like the emotional toll that most of health and fitness has, right? The dread around workouts, the confusion over all of the contrary information out there, or the guilt around the choices that you made, the guilt of going to someone's birthday party. Like, so many people go to birthday parties and have a cake, and because the diet tells you that cake's bad, you now regret going to a birthday party? Like, why would you? You wouldn't want that kind of regret on your family members. You wouldn't want to invite people over to your birthday and then make them feel miserable from it. So why would you do that to yourself? Right? There is a lot of stuff that we do to ourselves in this name of fitness, in the name of health, that is almost like torture. It's a struggle. It's miserable. And we put ourselves through it because someone told us we had to. But the reality is, fitness should be about loving yourself and acting accordingly. Health should be self-love. And it should be very obvious what actions are loving towards yourself and which actions are detrimental, what actions are just kind of vile. Right? So I love this part of the Rebel Oath, the love myself and act accordingly. It creates a litmus test for what actually determines healthy actions. If it's torture, that's not self-love. That's not something that's benefiting you. Right? If it's something that you would hesitantly offer someone that you loved, someone that you cared deeply about, then it's something that you should be really hesitant to give yourself. Right? And what I often try to do with my health and fitness programs is I try to make it a lot more approachable, a lot more accessible for clients, a lot more. In the last episode, we talked about excite yourself about potential. I try to make things more exciting, more engaging, more fulfilling, more self-elevating. That's what health and fitness should be. It should lift you up. It should be like a hug you put on yourself. Right? So that's the last bit of the Rebel Oath. So the Rebel Oath in total was R, reject extremisms. E, energize yourself through healthy habits. B, break free from common standards. E, excite yourself about your potential. And then finally, L, love myself and act accordingly. Those 5 parts create the Rebel Oath, and they give guidance on what to choose, what to do. They give you a shield around the mucky muck that's all around us, that's pushing us towards torture, towards self-deprivation, self-deprecation, and really just kind of the self-loathing, right? So the Rebel Oath, those 5 parts should be guiding us towards what's really healthy, not just what the neighbor said, not what your coworker said at the water cooler, but what's actually beneficial for you. And it should be shielding you from the bullshit that your coworker's telling you. It should shield you from what the neighbor's shouting across the yard. It should shield you from all of the bad influences that are out there, right? And I hate to say it, but if something that I say seems to contradict this Health Rebel Oath anytime throughout the series of this podcast, you don't have to wear it. If it defies the Rebel Oath, I want you to email me, steven@healthrebels.us, and call me a liar. Call me out on it. Tell me how I'm violating the Rebel Oath. I don't think I will, but if it happens, I want you to let me know. Because I stand by this Rebel Oath. I think this is a fantastic shield. I think it's a fantastic beacon, and I think it's a fantastic guide to keeping us truly healthy when so much misinformation out there has been holding us back. So that's it. That is the Rebel Oath. And do me a favor. As you go through your day, as you go through your week, when you get inundated with more diet culture, when you get inundated with all the fitness mumbo jumbo that you'll find on social media, keep the oath. Hey, thanks for listening to that episode of the Health Rebels podcast. Before you run off, I want to let you know about a free resource available for you. I do have a free Facebook community where I do daily live chats with other health rebels, provide more information, host group challenges, provide support, and just generally try to put more positivity on your newsfeed instead of the typically toxic political hate that we get surrounded by already. If you're not already in the Health Rebels Training Camp Facebook group, I'll tell you what, I'll sweeten the deal. When you join the Facebook group, I'll send you a free digital copy of my Health Rebels Pocketbook Guide. This little book highlights some of the hidden forces that have conspired against our health and happiness and gives you 2 powerful tools to fight back. You can join the Health Rebels Training Camp group by visiting www.facebook.com/groups/Health Rebels. That's an S after both groups and Health Rebels. Or by checking out the show notes. You can also search on Facebook for Health Rebels Training Camp. I hope to see you inside.